Hey Thomas, how are you today?
Jonathan, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Doing well,
All
thanks.
right. What do you got for me today?
So we talked about it briefly a little bit ago, but I wanted to talk about the unemployment rate and what's going on with that and how it compares to the past, prior to COVID, and what we're thinking that it's going to look like in the future going forward. So
Okay.
I guess what's your thoughts on the numbers that just came out the last over the last few days ago with the unemployment rate and how it's going to continue to compared to prior to COVID and potentially in the future with the presidential stuff coming up real soon.
All right. All right. So a couple of things to tackle there, but
Yeah.
let's we know the unemployment's ticked up. We talked about how the numbers on the youth report, which is that what they go by the first Friday of every month,
Yeah.
it's 4%, but the actual number is 7.4% when you look at the U6 report. That's what you're looking at. There was 625,000 full-time jobs lost in the month of May. All right. So, but however, they said they gained 279,000 jobs, like 272,000, forgot the number exactly. But, the filings just for people filing for unemployment now has gone up and it's above pre-COVID of 2019. And, all right. So in December of 2019, it's above those numbers before the economy took a big hit where everything got shut down and we all lived through that 4 years ago. As I call it, the big scamdemic. It wasn't a pandemic, it was a scandemic. And that proved over the hearings with Fauci and a few other people over the last few weeks in DC. So, I think where we're heading, we're slowly snowballing more and more as we even discussed going back. Um, it was even last year's videos. We were talking about it in December, how things are going to snowball, and things are now coming to that point. We're at that 6 month mark. And as I said, things will get worse come towards the fourth quarter of 2024. And I think 2025, no matter who's in the White House, things are going to be very bad economically for a lot of people because, all right, let's just say Trump gets in. He's not going to be able to like stop what's in motion right now. It's going to take at least 12 months when he starts putting his own type of thoughts and, making executive decisions. It doesn't happen like that. It does take time. So it will take, at least till 2026. So best thing is prepare for 2025 to be a very bad economic year. You're going to see a lot of businesses, they're going to shut down, and we're not just talking mom and pop businesses. We're talking like good mid-sized businesses out there. Your thoughts?
For the people that may not know, what is the difference between what they're reporting? I think it was what 4% last. I think it was last week, right?
Yeah,
And
correct. It was the first. It was the first Friday. I think it was June 8th, the first
yeah.
Friday
So
in June.
what's the difference between that report and with what does that include versus what the next report includes? Because I think a lot
All
of
right.
people it's misinformation, or they're
Well, you
tricking
know what
people
it
into
is?
thinking.
It's not only misinformation, it's information that's, not given to people. Just like anything else, a lot of stuff's propaganda. It's like, history's written by the victors. Okay. So they're going to give you what they want to give you. You have to really like peel back the onion. It's almost like if ever done a term paper, it's doing your research. And that's what it comes down to. There were six different U reports, U1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the U6 is the true number because it tells you how many people, are working, how many part-time jobs. Like I gave an example. If you were working two part-time jobs in the month of May and I was working three part-time jobs, they would count that as five jobs, but they're not allowing you to peel back the onion. Okay, is that part-time or full-time? No. You know what? You have to look at that. We all know we've been hit with inflation pretty hard over the last few years. And it's interesting. I was actually talking to a few people in my gym. They happen to be, 70 to 80 years old, and they lived through the 1970s with the, inflation. And I had asked them, have you compared this inflation to the 70s? They said, listen, when we went out and got eggs for 50 cents a dozen, it was still 50 cents a dozen. What was really the inflation was the oil, the gasoline, and 74 was a rough year. It was the interest rates that really skyrocketed. And actually, 1981 was the worst year of it. And this is a good prime example because you had Carter, that was president from January of 77 until January of 81, and then Reagan took over. But 1981 was a very bad year for economics. Again, my example with Trump, that's why I think 2025, no matter who steps in there, let's just say it is Trump, 2025 is going to be a bad year because of everything that's in motion right now. You can't stop it. But, you have to verse yourself on the U6 report. Google it, read it, and you'll see it so you can educate yourself. Most people, they're just going by in life and not realizing, okay, I still have a roof over my head. I'm still able to pay my bills. I got credit cards, so that'll help me out. Credit cards are like at the max they've ever been in the history. We're at over we're close to 1.2 trillion in debt in credit cards a consumer. That's insane. Insane. I mean, if you can't pay your bill at the end of the month, do not put it on credit. You're only making the banks richer and yourself much poorer.
Well, I mean, I think it's important for everyone to know, like you're saying, you have to get the full picture. Don't just look at the headline, because once you read through the article, you still may not see exactly what you're finding, because we've talked about it before. Part-time work is up, full-time work is down. That trend is probably going to continue going forward, and we'll have to continue to monitor it. And it's important for everyone out there to pay attention to that and see how that helps or hurts their near and in the future for themselves.
100%, 100%. Well, listen, hopefully this has been creative knowledge for you. We ask you to subscribe if you haven't. Please hit that thumbs up and spread the news on the tribe and the clan we've created here. Take care. Have a great day.
Everyone.